Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April 20th. The Mets losing streak has reached 11. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We are getting about the midway point of the first month of the season. You've got NHL and NBA playoffs that are just starting. It's a good time to be a sports fan, especially with that FIFA World Cup around the corner. With all those fun and exciting sports, this is the podcast for baseball. I'm happy to have you guys here with us today for our episode. Not too much big news to get into, but there are some things worth discussing. And as usual, we will be starting it off with our series recap. Leading us off, we have the Royals and the Yankees. Ben Rice would homer for the Yankees. Vinny Pasquantino homers in the 8th to tie it up for the Royals, but that just sets up McMahon hitting his first home run of the season. A go-ahead 2-run shot in the bottom half for a 4-2 Yankees win. Cody Bellinger, next game, a 2-homer game from him. Ahmed Rosario goes deep, and Ben Rice goes deep again. 13-4 Yankees. And in the last game, Aaron Judge hits his 9th of the year. Trent Grisham hits his 3rd, while Ben Rice hits his 8th. And going back to last series, that's 4 straight games for Ben Rice with a homer. 7-0 Yankees. They sweep the Royals. Tigers and Red Sox, Casey Mize and Ranger Suarez give up 0 runs through a combined 14.2 innings. As we go to extra 0-0, the Red Sox walk it off in the 10th on a Masataka Yoshida single. 1-0 Boston. Game 2, Kerry Carpenter hitting his 4th homer of the season. Tarek Skubal strikes out 10, leading to a 4-1 Detroit win. And in that last game, Jemiah Jones, Dylan Dingler, they both homer for a 4-run 5th off of Garrett Crochet, who continues to struggle early. 6-2 Tigers. There is a 4th game going on today. On Monday, we'll talk about that next time around. Orioles and Guardians now. This is a 4-game series. Jose Ramirez hits his 4th homer as Parker Messick takes a no-hitter into the 9th before losing it with 3 outs to get. Guardians, though, hold on for a 4-2 win. Daniel Schneemann, it's a grand slam for the first 4 runs of this game in the 7th inning, but Baltimore responds 6 runs in the 8th, including Jeremiah Jackson hitting a go-ahead 3-run homer, helping Baltimore even up the 4-game series, 6-4, the final in that one. Leody Taveras, Gunnar Henderson, they both hit solo shot homers in this game, but Brian Rocchio hits a 3-run home run. Bo Naylor adds a solo shot to lock in a 4-2 Guardians win. And in this last game, Taylor Ward hits a 3-run homer, his first as an Oiler. Jose Ramirez has a 2-homer game for his 5th and 6th of the year, as well as his 3rd of the series. Guardians win it 8-4 and take 3 of 4 from Baltimore. Reds and Twins, a 2-run double from Eugenio Suarez in the 4th was all the Reds needed, leading them to a 2-1 victory. The Reds score a run in the 7th, 8th, and 9th as they would tie this game in the 8th and take the lead in the 9th on a Dane Myers single. The Reds win it 5-4. And down 2 in the 9th, the Reds come back. They take the lead in the 9th again with a bases-clearing double from TJ Friedl. But the Twins show some fight this time. They'll tie it up in the bottom half with an Austin Martin double. We go to extras, but it's just delaying the inevitable. The Reds score 3 runs with the help of a Reese Hins double, and they hold the Twins for the sweep, 7-4 Cincinnati. For White Sox and A's, Munetaka Murakami puts an exclamation mark on this game. A 7th inning grand slam, helping the White Sox to a 9-2 victory. In Game 2, Colson Montgomery, Andrew Benintendi, Murakami, once again, all hitting homers for the White Sox. The A's at one point were down 5, but they came back with the help of Jacob Wilson going yard. They tie the game in the 7th on a Nick Kurtz home run. We go to extras where neither team scores in the 10th, but in the 11th, the A's finish the comeback with a Max Muncy walk-off sac fly. They win it 7-6. In the last game, Derek Hill, Miguel Vargas, Colson Montgomery again, and Murakami again. His third straight game with a home run. Munetaka is getting hot again. The White Sox 4 home runs helped them to a 7-4 victory and the series win against the A's. Padres and Angels, Yoel Moncada, Josh Lowe, they homer to help Jose Soriano blank the Padres to end their 8-game winning streak with a score of 8-0. In Game 2, Ramon Laureano and Fernando Tatis each get an RBI in both the 8th and 9th to make it 4-1 Padres for that win. And in the rubber match, the Padres pitchers hold the Angels to just 1 run on 2 hits as their offense does just enough for the series win, taking it 2-1 against LA. Cardinals and Astros now. The Astros out home with the Cardinals as Christian Vasquez, Yordan Alvarez, and Jose Altuve all go deep, but they were all solo shots compared to Nolan Gorman's 3-run homer and Ivan Herrera's 2-run homer. The Cardinals win it 9-4. Yordan Alvarez homers again, but the Cardinals get 3 from Mason Wynn, Jose Fermin, and Alec Burleson as those 3 go yard for a 7-5 Cardinals win. And in this last game, we can make it 3 straight games for Yordan Alvarez with a home run. He is the first player to reach double digits on the year, hitting his 10th homer of the season. His homer would help the Astros tie this game late and send it to extras, but the Cardinals get a bases-clearing double from Mason Wynn in extras. Astros only score 1. The Cardinals win it 7-5 in the 10th inning and sweep the Astros. Rangers and Mariners now. Brandon Nimmo hitting his 4th homer of the year, helping Texas to a 5-0 victory. Luke Raley homers in this one. The Mariners add 3 in the 8th to help stamp a W in this game, winning it 7-3. And in the road match, it's Rob Refsnyder, it's J.P. Crawford, and Randy Arozarena. They all go deep in a 5-2 Mariners win, taking 2 of 3 from Texas. Giants and Nationals now. The Giants score 6 in the 2nd with the help of a 3-run homer from Heliot Ramos, his first homer of the year. Drew Gilbert hits his first homer later on, as well as Casey Schmidt hitting his 2nd of the season. Giants go to a 10-5 victory. Both James Wood and Heliot Ramos homer in back-to-back games here. The Nats tied this one in the 9th on a Brady House single. We go into extras where there's no runs in either the 10th or 11th, but in the 12th we have our difference. Matt Chapman scores a run on a single. That's the difference in this one. Giants last and win it 7-6. In that last game, the Nationals would score 3 runs in the 5th, including a 2-run homer from Curtis Mead. That's the difference there. The Nationals win it 3-0 to avoid the sweep from San Francisco. Braves and Phillies now. The Braves scored early and often in this one. Austin Riley, a 2-homer game. Dominic Smith goes yard. Michael Harris II goes yard. 9-0 Braves in the opener. In his first ever MLB bat, welcome to the big leagues, Felix Reyes, he hits his first ever MLB home run, hit, run, RBI, you name it. What a moment for the kid. But the Braves, they will play 3 in the 3rd with some error help from the Phillies. They never look back as Sale locks in after that homer. They win it 3-1. And in the last game, Michael Harris hits his 2nd homer of the series. The Braves came back with 3 runs in the 5th as they get a big sweep over a divisional foe, beating the Phillies 4-2 in that one. Brewers and Marlins now. Otto Lopez hits a 2-run homer in the 6th to help close the gap as the Marlins would tie this game in the 8th and move on to extras. The Brewers use small ball followed by a big 2-run double from Garrett Mitchell as that helps them lead them to an opener win, 7-5 Milwaukee in 10. In Game 2, it's Bryce Terang who drives in 3, including a 2-run homer for his 4th of the year, helping the Brewers to a 5-2 victory. And in the last game, the Marlins get 3 runs in the 1st off of Jacob Mizorowski as Yuri Perez locks down the Brewers. The Marlins avoid the sweep with a 5-3 victory. Mets and Cubs now. Moise Ballestarios It's a 3-run homer in the first to cap a 4-run inning, and that was just the start. Nico Horner went deep as well as Ian Happ. The Cubs cruised to an opener victory 12-4 the final. In game 2, it's Ian Happ again with a solo shot. Carson Kelly, a 3-run homer for the Cubs, leading them to a 4-2 victory. And in the last game, the Mets were just 2 outs away from ending their 10-game losing streak with Devin Williams looking for the save, but Michael Conforto delivers with a game-tying double down the line. We go to extras now. It's 1-1. The Cubs hold the Mets, and in the bottom of the 10th, they walk it off with a Nico Horner sac fly. They get a comeback win, steal one from the Mets, who've now dropped 11 in a row. Yikes, 2-1 Cubs. Rays and Pirates now. O'Neal Cruz, his 6th homer of the year. Brandon Lau, one of 3 Pirates that had 3 hits in the game. He goes 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. It's 5-1 Pittsburgh. In game 2, Ryan O'Hearn, Marcell Ozuna, they both go deep. The Rays came back from down 4 to tie this game up, and with the rain delays and everything that was going on in PNC Park, this game took over 7 real-life hours to finish. Both teams scored in the 11th. We ended up in the 13th inning, where Cedric Mullins hit a 2-run shot for the Rays. The Pirates only scored 1 run in their half. They left a tying run at third, and they take the tough loss. Rays hold on for an 8-7 victory in 13 innings. The rematch, though, would favor Pittsburgh as Spencer Horwitz and Nick York both go deep. It's 6-3, Pittsburgh taking 2 of 3 from the Rays. Dodgers and Rockies. Max Muncy, it's a 2-homer game for him. He's up to 6 on the year. Dodgers lead to a 7-1 victory. The Dodgers in game 2 get 2 homers from Kyle Tucker and Dalton Rushing, but the Rockies score 3 unanswered to come back with a Troy Johnson 2-run go-ahead double. It's 4-3 Colorado, and in that last game, Kyle Carlos, Mickey Moniak, they both go deep, hitting bombs. Eduardo Julien drives in 3 as the leadoff man. The Rockies get the series win over the Dodgers. Who would have thought? 9-6 Colorado in that one. Blue Jays and D-backs is how we finish it off. Nolan Arenado hits his 3rd homer of the year. The D-backs add 3 late to lock down the opener. 6-3 the final. Tied at 2 in the 8th. It's Corbin Carroll who says not anymore with the bases juiced. He hits a go-ahead grand slam to put an end to this close game. From 2-2 goes 6-2 the final. And in the last game, the Jays offense finally wakes up on what's been a tough road trip for them. They score 8 runs in the first inning alone, all without a home run, but they would get that homer later in the game. Kazuma Okamoto hitting his 3rd homer of the year leads the Blue Jays to a 10-4 victory to avoid the sweep, and that's your series recap. All right, now moving on, we have our game of the weekend. We are going to Sacramento, I guess. The White Sox and the Athletics, game 2 on the Saturday here. It starts in the top of the 2nd as the young phenom Colson Montgomery hits his 4th homer of the season. A solo shot makes it 1-0. But the White Sox aren't done there. Reese McGuire then picks up an RBI single to make it 2-0. And Andrew Benintendi puts a stamp on the inning with a 3-run homer, his first of the 2026 campaign, makes it 5-0 White Sox after a big inning. A lot of work for the A's to do, but they are up to the challenge. Jacob Wilson hits his 2nd homer of the season. Solo shot makes it 5-1 in the bottom of the 2nd. It starts with 1. That's important because then in the bottom of the 3rd, Jeff McNeil gets a sac fly. It's now a 3-run game. Bottom 5, Tyler Soderstrom, he gets a single RBI, comes in 5-3. They're slowly chipping away. Now bottom 6, Lawrence Butler would reach on a fielder's choice. Max Muncy comes in to score on that. It's now 5-4. The Athletics have scored 4 unanswered. The White Sox need to make sure they stay ahead. Munetaka Murakami hits another home run. He would homer in all games of this series, but this is his 2nd game in a row, his 7th on the year, showing that home run pop. It's a solo shot. The White Sox are back to it up 2, but in the bottom half with a runner on, it's Nick Kurtz, his second homer of the season, ties this game up at 6-6. We move nothing in the eighth, nothing in the ninth, nothing in the 10th, as this one has gone to extras. And in the 11th, Jacob Wilson sits at third, waiting to score the game-winning run, and Max Muncy delivers a ball deep enough into the outfield to do just that. The walk-off sacs fly. The A's come back from down 5 at one point. When it's 7-6 in 11, they would end up losing this series, but still, this was your game of the weekend for sure. Nice little 5-run comeback for the Athletics here. Let's move on to the news from the week, and we're going to start with the sad news from the week. This happening on the Friday. Angels legend Garret Anderson had unfortunately passed away just 4 days ago now. Of course, he came into the league in 1994, playing for at the time the California Angels. Finished second in Rookie of the Year voting in 1995 with a WAR of 3. He then went on to have 3 All-Stars with the team. He was a home run derby champion, a 2-time Silver Slugger, was an All-Star MVP as well as, of course, the 2002 World Series champion with said Anaheim Angels. Those years, I mean, he was on the Angels when they were California, when they were Anaheim, and when they switched to LA in 2005. He spent 15 years a part of the Angels organization with a 28.1 WAR. For his 17-year career, he has 2,529 hits with 287 home runs, had 1,365 RBIs, a batting average of 293, and a career OPS of 785. He was a very good ball player. He is one of the Angels legends in their league and in their history, their organization. He was phenomenal. After leaving in 2008, had a year stint in Atlanta and a year stint in with the Dodgers. Those 2 years weren't great for him, but of course, he remembered as an Angel. Of course, he was the guy in Game 7 of that 2002 World Series for the Angels. He had that big hit, the double that's kind of secured them that win as well as the World Series. He's the all-time Angels hits leader as well. He's a massive part of the franchise, and his passing is quite unexpected, and it definitely hits hard. Of course, he, wrapped up his career in 2010. That was just 16 short years ago that this man finished playing Major League Baseball, and he was a very good ball player. So, baseball community and fans are all over with the Angels fandom as well as the Garret Anderson family. As they go through that difficult time for him, he will be missed. A great player. Moving on here, let's get more into the news of the actual baseball season. Of course, it's always hard to talk about passings on this podcast here because it's inherently sad, but there's always going to be baseball and things that happen here. And for some, it's sad and angry because the Mets are in a position right now where they should be very sad and very angry. They have reached 11 straight games without winning. They have been losing and losing and losing a lot recently. Yeah, just not good right now if you are a Mets fan. It's kind of what no team wants to go through. It does help, I guess, that it happens this early in this season. There still is 140 some odd games left, right? 139, whatever it may be, to go back out there and turn your season around. But the question is, what is going so wrong right now for the Mets? Are they just running up really bad teams or really good teams, or what's the situation? Well, they just got swept by the Cubs. Before that, they were swept by the Dodgers, and before that, they were swept by the Athletics. They also then lost 2 games against the D-backs. Their last win right now coming April 7th against the D-backs. That was the start of that series there. And they were coming off taking 3 of 4 from the Giants. They were 4-1 before now losing 11 straight. They were looking pretty good for the division, but of course they have fallen off hard. And you know, there isn't really one guy you can point to and say like, oh, this is why this is happening. Some of the stats here for the Mets in the last 15 games offensively: Bo Bichette 11 for 51, Lindor 13 for 56. Guys are batting 216, 232. Brett Beatty is 5 for 32. Carson Bench 6 for 36. Marcus Semien 10 for 46. He has he hasn't homered in this stretch as well. They only have about 7 homers on this losing streak. No player has over 4 RBIs driven in. You've got about 5 players with over 10 plus strikeouts. Outside of MJ Melendez, who is 5 for 14 in 4 games of these 15 days. So, I mean, he hasn't really been around that much, but in that time, he's got 2 doubles and a homer, as well as 2 RBIs, batting 357. But on the year, his Mets team has just looked flat. There really hasn't been anyone that outstanding. When you look at qualified hitters for the Mets here, Francisco Alvarez leads the way with a 879 OPS. Everyone else is below 700 or below 750 or just not qualified. I mean, Luis Robert is a 737, Marcus Semien a 606 OPS, Francisco Lindor is at 600, Bo Bichette at 538. Brett Beatty at 483 and Carson Bench at 435. They have 7 qualified hitters, and 6 of them are below 750. It just hasn't been working offensively. And if that's to say like, oh, at least the pitching's doing their job, well, the pitching really hasn't done their job either. I mean, Freddie Peralta, he looked sharp kind of in that first game. A couple homers to be loud on the first day of the season. But he's made 5 starts. He's done 26.2 innings. He's given up 12 earned runs. He's up to a 4 ERA here. Derek Peterson's ERA is a 5.4. Kodai Senga has really struggled. He has 17 earned runs in 17 and a third innings. He's got an 8.83 ERA in his 4 starts. Nolan McLean and Clay Holmes have been the 2 guys that you could say, hey, these guys have done their job. I mean, Nolan McLean in his 4 starts, he's 1-1, a 2.28 ERA across 23 and 2/3 innings, only giving up 6 earned runs. Clay Holmes has been that saving grace. He's 1.96 ERA across 4 starts, 23 innings, only 5 earned runs. He's been very sharp. But yeah, you've got 3 starters who haven't been out to the greatest start. And then the bullpen hasn't been anything crazy. Tobias Myers in the back end, he's been great. He's even made a start for the Mets already this season. Used, 7 games, 15 innings, 5 earned runs. That's pretty solid. Devin Williams across 7 games, he's already given up 5 earned runs, 6 and a third, including the blown save in this last game on Sunday that would have ended the 10-game losing streak. Instead, it's now 11, their longest losing streak since 2004. But yeah, Luis Garcia, Austin Warren, like these are some of the guys who just have been contributing for the Mets here. Big shout out though, Oscar Brazoban. In 9 games, he's thrown 9 and a third. He's given up 8 hits, but not a single run yet. He's been definitely the most reliable member of that Mets bullpen here, but something's got to change because you're either ending up in the situations where you guys are like losing the bloodbath games. But it really has been just not being able to score the runs. You look at these last couple of games, 1 run, 2 run, 4 runs, right? The game they scored 4 was the game the Cubs scored 12. Like, you're not coming back from that. They scored 3 runs in the whole Dodgers series as a whole. And then against the Athletics, 2 of the games they scored 0 runs. And the game that they scored 6, well, their pitching gave up 11. So the games that they're able to score high amounts of runs, their pitchers aren't doing their job. And then most of the time, they just aren't able to score runs. Against the Cubs in this most recent series, they totaled, 7 runs across 3 games? That's less than the Cubs' first game with 12. So right now, it just is not clicking for the Mets. And that's going to have to change really, really soon because, yes, it is early in the year, but the Braves have looked good. The Phillies, there's been some hiccups there, but they still have a very solid team. They're looking strong-ish. There's definitely some issues in Philly land right now, of course, getting swept by the Braves. They've lost 5 straight, but yeah, it's going to happen sooner than later. Right now, they're 8 games back of the Braves, who are killing it right now. So a turning point needs to happen for the Mets. That's to say the least here. Let's spend a little bit of time really quickly talking about the Dodgers and Rockies, because how about them Colorado Rockies, eh? You get two against the Dodgers. They're the first team this year to beat the Dodgers in back-to-back games, and there wasn't just simple baseball being had. There was a little bit of off-the-field nonsense here. After that second game, Dalton Rushing, Dodgers, young catcher here, prospect up. He's been off to a very hot start in the year. He actually homered in that second game as well. He was saying how it was a little fishy how the Rockies were doing so well against first pitch pitches. They were hitting the ball off the cover. Basically was what Rushing was saying, just basically insinuating that it was a little weird. It's interesting to have comments like that as you're young and everything, but like obviously no one expects the Dodgers to lose to the Rockies, but it's weird that like your first thought, if you lose the game is, oh, they must be up to something, right? They must have something, or they must be, insinuating something here. Well, the Rockies came back the next game and said, we don't even need to insinuate everything. Here we go. Kyle Carros the home run, Mickey Moniak the home run, Eduardo Julien was great in this game. Like the Rockies they put it on over here, and something that people noticed was the little celebrations they were doing after some of their doubles and after some of their big moments. They were going fishing. They were shooting the rod around, reeling in some big fish here as the Rockies were just all over it. I mean, Julian, 3 for 5, 3 RBIs. Moniak, 2 for 5, 3 RBIs. You got Freeman in on it, 1 for the RBI. Like, they were here for a little bit, and they were making sure that they knew that they didn't really appreciate the rushing comment here, and they were the first team to beat the Dodgers in back-to-back games. So good for the Rockies, eh? They're still kind of cooking a little bit here in the standings. They're obviously still last, tied with the Giants, but 9 wins. That's a lot more than the Mets. That's 2 more than the Mets, 1 more than the Astros, 3 more than the Royals. They're ahead of the Blue Jays and Rockies still. Like the Rockies have definitely had some fun this year already early on. So good for Colorado. And for the Dodgers, like, just, keep your noses clean. Go be doing all that. Anyways, here, let's move on. Let's talk about the hot and colds from the week here. Who has been the hottest player this week? It is Jose Ramirez from your Cleveland Guardians. He was 8 for 22 with a double, 4 homers, 5 RBIs, 9 runs, 8 walks, 1.488 OPS. Of course, Michael A. Trout is on this list. 7 for 24, a double. He had 5 homers against the Yankees, 9 RBIs, 9 runs, 8 walks, a 1.427 OPS. Of course, he was going toe-to-toe with Aaron Judge, who lands on this list as well. 7 for 27, 2 doubles, 5 homers, 7 RBIs, 6 runs, a 1.222 OPS for him. Munetaka Murakami, I feel like he's been on the hot and colds list every week. Just some weeks have been hot and some weeks have been cold. He's either ice cold one week or he's tearing the ball off the cover. 7 for 21, 4 homers, 9 RBIs, 6 runs, 7 walks, a 1.405 OPS. And Yordan Alvarez, he's been on a heater as well. 9 for 28 with 3 doubles, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, 7 runs, 4 walks, and a 1.263 OPS. Again, he is the first player to reach double-digit homers on the season. He is up to 10 and leading the league as it stands. On the cold side of things, rookie Chase DeLauder has kind of chilled up a little bit here for Cleveland. He's 1 for 19, only struck out once though. Colton Cowser, 1 for 17 with 7 Ks. Wencel Perez was 1 for 19 with 3 Ks. Jazz Chisholm stays cold, 1 for 17 with 9 strikeouts. And Juan Brito, 2 for 20 with 9 strikeouts as well. Those 5 players definitely on the cold side of the league as it stands. As we look now to some injury updates from around the league this weekend. A couple of them. Daniel Palencia from the Cubs lands on the 15-day IL with a strained oblique. It's kind of the weekend of the strained oblique. Johan Duran, Phillies closer, lands on the 15-day IL with a strained oblique, as does Patrick Wisdom, who worked so hard to come back to the league. He last played in a major league game in 2024, spending last year just not in the Major League Baseball. He finally got a chance. Mariners called him up and instantly 10-day IL in his first game. He has a strained oblique as well. The Mets, if things couldn't get worse for them, they lose Jorge Polanco on the 10-day IL with a wrist contusion. Tigers lose Zach McKinstry for 10 days at least with the hip inflammation as he lands on the IL. And the Astros IL continues to grow. Joey Loperfido, 10-day IL, a strained quad for him. Those are your injury updates. Hopefully these guys can heal up quickly and get back on the field. We'll take a look now at the outstanding performances from the weekend. Of course, Parker Messick, 8 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 9 Ks. He took a no-hitter into the 9th before Baltimore got a little messy here. Cleveland held on, though, for the win. How about the pitching duel between Ranger Suarez and Casey Mize? Ranger Suarez, 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 Ks, while Casey Mize went 6 2/3, allowing 3 hits, no runs, a walk, and 7 Ks. Jose Soriano definitely had to work in this start, but still was solid. 5 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, 4 walks, and 8 Ks. The Padres were definitely making him work. Tyler Glasnow, 7 innings, 2 hits, a run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. Tarek Skubal, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 10 Ks. Brandon Woodruff, 7 innings, 3 hits, a run, a walk, and 4 Ks. Gavin Williams, very good, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 11 punch-outs for him. Chris Sale, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. Yuri Perez, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 7 Ks. Bailey Ober, 6 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, 4 walks, and 10 strikeouts for him. Framber Valdez, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. One of his better starts to the Tigers so far this year. And lastly, Ryan Weathers, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 8 Ks. He has definitely been a funny pitcher so far to start the season. He's either going like 7, 8 innings, not giving up a run, or he's giving up like 5 in the first and calling it a day in before 3 innings. Like he's been 2 sides of the stone. Has Ryan Weathers been. We'll take a look now at the standings check as we update ourselves on the baseball world. In the AL East, the Yankees still in control now, 13-9, just half a game up on the Rays, who are 12-9. So the Yankees have played an extra game and have won said game. Baltimore 10-12, they're just a couple games back of 500, while the Blue Jays and Red Sox still trying to figure out their struggles early on in the season, both 8-13, 5 games below 500 there. They're 4.5 back of the Yankees. In the AL Central, Cleveland has taken back first place there, 13-10, just half a game of the Tigers, who are 12-10, so similar to the Yankees and Rays. Guardians, 1 extra game and have won it. Twins, they've lost 4 straight. They're back to 500 at 11-11, but still better than the White Sox and Royals. White Sox at 8-14 in 4th, and the Royals have definitely hit a skid. They've lost 7 straight. They're 7-15. They were 7-8. Now have lost 7 straight, and that's getting pushed under the rug kind of just because the Mets have lost 11. But still, Royals need to turn around really quickly as well. The AL West, it's definitely been a struggle for this division. I mean, Rangers and Athletics are tied for first, and both are just sitting at 500 at 11-11. You've got 4 teams that have been better than these 2 teams who are first in the West. Angels at 11-12, just 1 extra game and have lost it. Mariners 10-13, and the Astros 8-15. They're just struggling here. They pushed a 8-game losing streak under the rug, took a couple from the Rockies just to get swept again. This time by the Cardinals. They're 8-15, as I mentioned, 2-8 in their last 10, and have lost 4 straight. Struggling still here for Houston. In the NL East, you've got one of the three best teams in baseball in the Atlanta Braves, 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 5 straight and are now 15-7, just half a game back of the Dodgers for the best record, tied with the Padres for second. They've been off to a very good start, and they are the biggest lead in the division so far. The Marlins in second with the Nationals. Both teams are 10-12. Both teams 5 games back already. You look around the league, Rangers and Athletics, they're tied. Guardians, Tigers, half a game. Yankees, Rays, half a game. We'll talk about the other two divisions, but everyone is half a game within each other. Braves have a 5-game lead. They are cruising right now in the NL East. Phillies are at 8-13. They've lost 5 straight, need to figure things out. And the Mets, 7-15. They've lost 11 in a row, as we've mentioned. So, the Braves not only are playing very good, but the rest of the division is not playing very good. So that helps big time. They've up to a 5-game lead. Good for the Braves. NL Central, the Reds, first place. You got a really tight NL Central. I mean, the NL Central so far has been the best baseball division, and it's not close. The Reds 14-8, the Cardinals 13-8, the Pirates 13-9, Cubs 12-9, and the Brewers 12-9. All 5 teams in the NL Central are above 500. You compare that to the AL West here, where the all 5 teams are not even below 500. Like right now, the entire NL Central is better than the entire AL West. That's crazy. Cardinals on a 5-game winning streak, Cubs on a 5-game winning streak. All are playing very good. That NL Central looking to be kind of a bloodbath right now. NL West, Dodgers 15-6, their first 2-game losing streak, courtesy of the Rockies. Padres are at 15-7, just half a game back of them. Diamondbacks at 13-9. Giants 9-13. Rockies 9-13. They're both 6.5 back as it stands currently. That is what is currently going on in the NL West. So if we look at the league as a whole, Dodgers in first, Braves, Padres tied for second, and then you get the Reds, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Pirates, Yankees, kind of all in that mix there. And if you notice, the one thing I did say, it was Dodgers, Braves, Padres, Reds, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Pirates. That's 7 teams from the NL, just as good as anyone in the AL. The AL has been the slop right now to start the year. A lot of teams are on the colder front, to say the least there. So that is your standings check, and that will bring us to our upcoming schedule for the week here. There are some good baseball games being had, some good series to look out for. Tigers and Red Sox, they're finishing up a 4-game set, as I mentioned, I believe, earlier. They're probably, by the time you're hearing this, by the time this is uploaded, they're probably already done, question mark. The Dodgers and Rockies are also finishing up a 4-game set as well. So the Rockies right now looking to take 3 or 4 from the Dodgers. That would be pretty insane. The Reds are in Tampa to take on the Rays. Yankees at Red Sox. The rivalry is back here in 2026. Cam Schlittler will be on the mound one of these games. That is sure to be some drama if he does not pitch very well. Orioles at Royals. Brewers at Tigers. Astros at Guardians, Pirates at Rangers, Blue Jays at Angels, A's at Mariners, Braves at Nationals, Twins at Mets, Cardinals at Marlins, Phillies at Cubs, Padres at Rockies, Dodgers at Giants, and the White Sox in Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. I have gone away from myself a little bit in this episode here. I've noticed that my notes are a little all over the place here. Mets against the Twins, that is a big series for them. They've got to find a way to end this losing streak. If we come back on Friday talking about the Mets on a 14-game losing streak, we're definitely going to have some bigger fish to fry here, ladies and gentlemen. That is our episode here today. I appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning on into today's episode. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you, buddy, so much, and I will see you all on Friday.